Welcome to Star Bios, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating lives of entertainment's most iconic figures. I'm your host, Casey Gold, and today we're going to explore the extraordinary life of a man who redefined the boundaries of music, fashion, and art, David Bowie. With a career spanning over 4 decades, Bowie left an indelible mark on popular culture, inspiring countless fans and artists with his innovative spirit and unbridled creativity. Let's begin our journey through the life of David Bowie, starting with his early years. Born David Robert Jones on January 8, 1947, in Brixton, London, England, Bowie grew up in a typical post-war British family. His father, Haywood Stenton John Jones, was a promotions officer for the children's charity Barnardo's, and his mother, Margaret Mary Peggy Burns, was a waitress. The family lived in a modest house at 40 Stansfield Road, Brixton, where Bowie spent most of his childhood. As a young boy, Bowie was fascinated by music, particularly rock and roll, which was sweeping the nation in the late 1950s. He would often listen to American artists like Elvis Presley, Little Richard, and Chuck Berry on the radio, and he was especially drawn to the likes of Bill Haley and his Comets. According to his childhood friend, George Underwood, Bowie's early musical influences also included British skiffle music, a genre that combined elements of folk, jazz, and blues. Bowie attended Stockwell Infant School and later moved to Burnt Ash Junior School in nearby Bromley. It was during this period that he developed a strong interest in science fiction, reading authors like H.G. Wells, Jules Verne, and Isaac Asimov. He also became fascinated with philosophy, particularly the works of Friedrich Nietzsche, which would later influence his songwriting. In 1959, at the age of 12, Bowie formed his first band, the Conrads, with Underwood and another friend, Pete Goodchild. They played a mix of rock and roll and skiffle music, performing at local venues and events. This early experience laid the groundwork for Bowie's future musical endeavors. As a teenager, Bowie spent hours browsing the shelves of record stores in London's West End, discovering new sounds and artists that would inspire his own musical experimentation. He devoured books on science fiction, philosophy, and psychology, laying the groundwork for the complex, intellectually curious persona he would later adopt. In 1962, at the age of 15, Bowie formed his first professional band, the Lower Third, with guitarist Dennis Taylor, bassist Graham Rivens, and drummer Phil Lancaster. The early 1960s were a time of great cultural change in Britain, with the emergence of mod culture, beatnik poetry, and experimental art. David was drawn to these avant-garde movements, attending underground clubs and coffee shops where he met other like-minded artists and musicians. This exposure would later influence his bold fashion sense and willingness to push boundaries in his music and performances. As we explore the early life of David Bowie, it's clear that these formative years laid the groundwork for his future success. The seeds of creativity, innovation, and self-expression were sown in his childhood, nurtured by his family, friends, and the vibrant cultural landscape of 1960s London. With a strong foundation in music, art, and intellectual curiosity, Bowie was poised to make his mark on the world. Bowie's first single, Liza Jane, was released in 1964, under the name Davy Jones with the King Bees. However, it was his 1969 single Space Oddity that brought him his first taste of success. The song, released to coincide with the Apollo 11 moon landing, reached the top 5 in the UK singles chart and marked the beginning of Bowie's ascension to stardom. The early 1970s saw Bowie release a string of innovative and influential albums, including The Man Who Sold the World Hunky Dory, and The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, and The Spiders from Mars. These albums not only showcased his incredible musical range, but also his bold and androgynous fashion sense. The character of Ziggy Stardust, with his flamboyant costumes and makeup, would become an iconic figure in popular culture. Bowie's creative risks and willingness to push boundaries were evident in his 1972 album The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, and the Spiders from Mars. This concept album told the story of a fictional rock star and explored themes of identity, fame, and mortality. The album was a huge commercial success and cemented Bowie's status as a trailblazer in the music industry. In addition to his musical achievements, Bowie was also making waves in the world of film. His 1976 role as Thomas Jerome Newton in Nicholas Ruggs' The Man Who Fell to Earth showcased his acting talents and further solidified his status as a cultural icon. The film's themes of alienation, identity, and the corrupting influence of power resonated deeply with Bowie's own experiences as a rock star. Throughout the 1970s, Bowie continued to experiment with new sounds and personas, releasing albums such as Aladdin Sane Diamond Dogs and Young Americans. These albums featured a range of styles, from glam rock to soul and funk, and demonstrated Bowie's incredible versatility as a musician. Bowie's personal struggles during this period were also well documented. His struggles with cocaine addiction and his tumultuous relationship with his wife, Angela Barnett, took a toll on his mental and physical health. However, despite these challenges, Bowie continued to produce innovative and influential music, inspiring countless fans and artists around the world. As we explore the remarkable achievements of David Bowie, it's clear that this period was marked by incredible creativity, experimentation, and risk-taking. From his breakthrough as a solo artist to his rise as a global superstar, Bowie's innovative spirit and unbridled creativity left an indelible mark on popular culture. The 1980s saw Bowie continue to push boundaries with albums such as Let's Dance Tonight and Never Let Me Down. These albums featured a range of styles, from pop and rock to jazz and classical, and demonstrated Bowie's incredible versatility as a musician. His collaboration with Brian Eno on the album Low in 1977 had already shown his willingness to experiment with new sounds and techniques, and this continued throughout the 1980s. One notable example of Bowie's innovative spirit during this period was his role in the 1986 film Labyrinth, where he played the character of Jareth, a mysterious and androgynous goblin king. The film's themes of identity, power, and the blurring of reality and fantasy resonated deeply with Bowie's own experiences as an artist and performer. In addition to his musical and acting achievements, Bowie was also recognized for his contributions to the world of art and fashion. His bold and androgynous style, which had been a hallmark of his early career, continued to influence designers and artists around the world. In 1996, he was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by the British Fashion Awards, recognizing his enduring impact on the fashion industry. Despite his many successes, Bowie's personal struggles continued throughout the 1980s and 1990s. His struggles with addiction and his tumultuous relationships took a toll on his mental and physical health. However, he continued to produce innovative and influential music, inspiring countless fans and artists around the world. In the 2000s, Bowie began to slow down his pace of work, releasing fewer albums and performing less frequently. However, he continued to experiment with new sounds and techniques, collaborating with artists such as Tony Visconti and Reeves Gabrels on albums such as Heathen and Reality. His final album, Black Star, released in 2016, was a critically acclaimed work that explored themes of mortality, identity, and the power of art to transcend time and space. David Bowie's legacy is immeasurable. He inspired generations of musicians, artists, and fans around the world with his innovative spirit, creative risk-taking, and bold style. As he once said, "I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way." His journey may have ended, but his music, art, and influence will continue to inspire and captivate audiences for generations to come. As we conclude our exploration of David Bowie's life and career, it's clear that he was a true original, a master of reinvention and experimentation. His impact on popular culture is still being felt today, and his legacy will only continue to grow in the years to come. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the life and times of David Bowie, one of the most influential and innovative artists of the 20th century. That's all for today's Star Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Casey Gold, reminding you to keep shooting for the stars.